Well, could the century of the billionaire be about to give way to something far, far richer? That's a prediction from Oxfam, which says the world's first trillionaire could emerge within the next 10 years, a bit over 100 years since the first billionaire was minted. Now, the charity Mayors made the suggestions as part of a report out today, in which it revealed the world's 5 richest people, all men, big surprise, have more than doubled their collective wealth over the last 4 years. The combination of Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, Larry Ellison and Bernard Arnault are now worth an unbelievable £688 billion. But it is also warned that the world's poorest 60% have seen their fortune shrink over the last 4 years, and the charity is saying poverty will take another 229 years to eradicate. That's if anybody can see to do that. Well, for more on this, I'm joined by the compiler of the Sunday Times Rich List, somebody who knows about money, Robert Watts. Robert, what is behind this astonishing rise in wealth of these top 5 guys?
What is certainly true with the Oxfam report is that there has, as the Sunday Times Rich List has documented in recent years, has been an astonishing golden period of wealth creation at the very top. I picked up the Sunday Times Rich List from 10 years ago, earlier today, after the Oxfam report, and we had 88 billionaires in the UK at that time. We now have around 170. I mean, it's been an astonishing period. Part of the reasons, lots of reasons really, but the big thing for these people has been a period of low interest rates, where their wealth, the value of their assets, the value of their companies soared, the value of their properties soared, the value of their share portfolios soared, and what we've started to see a very slight unraveling of that in the last year. But yes, without a doubt, I certainly don't dispute that for a second in this Oxfam report. There has been this astonishing golden period. That is true.
That's really interesting, because when we think about low interest rates or high interest rates, we often talk about the impact they have on us ordinary folk or people struggling to make ends meet, mortgages, bank loans, etc. You rarely think about the effect it has on billionaires, and of course they benefit from this too. Look, another element of this is that quite a few of these guys are in tech. They're in Silicon Valley guys. Larry Ellison, Oracle, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Elon Musk, Tesla and SpaceX as well. How has that changed over the last few decades in terms of where the billionaires used to be, for example, in energy, I assume, or real estate? Now it's really in tech, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, again, there has been a bit of an unraveling of that in the last year or so. But tech, when you think about it, it took the potential of a small business to become a global player very, very, very quickly. And we saw this cocktail, this particular alliance between low interest rates with billionaires sitting on money that wasn't doing anything in the bank. So they were going to invest and buy holdings in tech companies, often inflating their value far beyond really what they were worth. And we're starting to see a lot of those values sort of crash now. But you know, it's still been an astonishing period of wealth creation. In terms of trillionaires, though, if you start to think about it, I do think Oxfam have overreached this. But the guys at the top, people like Elon Musk, Bezos, they're worth in the region of $200 billion at the moment. And what Oxfam is sort of suggesting, and they do it very quietly, they only mention the word trillionaire twice in this 65-page report, but they're suggesting that they're going to increase their wealth fivefold in the next 10 years, which seems a bit of a push when you think interest rates are now higher, valuations of companies are down. If you think of what's happened in, say, a lot of their assets over the last 10 years, real estate increased by about 70%, so suggesting, you know, a big rise in the value of real estate. I'm not suggesting for a second that these guys aren't going to get richer and richer, and the gap between rich and poor will widen. But trillionaires, there might be someone on the planet who's been born, who may become a trillionaire later in our lives, but I think we're a way off.
In terms of any concern that these 5 might have for those people that don't have their type of wealth, and of course this report comes from Oxfam and they're looking at the gap, the inequality gap. Bill Gates is somebody that comes to mind who's donated a huge amount of his wealth to charity and foundations. Do these guys come near that in terms of their philanthropy or giving it away?
It's a real mix. It's a real mix, to be honest. I talked to billionaires while compiling the rich list who get very excited about giving £1 million away or £2 million, and they make a lot of noise about it when they're sitting on wealth of north of £2 or £3 billion. And then there are others who have signed up to the giving pledge of giving away at least half of their wealth either during their lifetime or when they die. It's a real mix. And I see with a lot of people often ask in terms of the social value of people at the very high end. And with some businesses, some of these people, you can see that they've created businesses that are employing a lot of people, that are paying a lot of tax. Others, you can't see it. You could see a sort of a hedge fund billionaire perhaps not paying a huge amount of tax that's identifiable, say in the UK or somewhere else, perhaps making other wealthier people wealthier. It's harder to defend. So it is a mix. I mean, if we had 171 billionaires on the Sunday Times rich list last year, you've got people there who are big figures, who are creating a lot of wealth, paying a lot of tax, others who don't seem to be doing too much of that.
Interesting stuff, a real mix. Look, thank you so much, Robert, for joining us, talking us through that. We appreciate it.